Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you what some may call the ultimate suburban mansion in Minecraft. If you enjoy this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button as it helps me and the channel out very much. And if you make it all the way to the end, I do have a little surprise for you. I will be showing you the entire inside of the build, and it is all nice and furnished and a little bit weird actually, but you guys will see that if you make it to the end of the video. But without any further ado, let's get started. Now, before we begin building, here's what we're going to be using. These are all of the materials that we will be using throughout the build, and you should also be able to see the amounts of those materials that you will need as well. The amount of space required for the build is a hefty 45 by 42 block area. Please make sure you have enough room in your world. I would also highly recommend making the grid, although it's not necessary. Yeah, pause the video if you have to. Make sure that you have enough stuff, make sure you've got enough room to make it, and make sure that you're ready to take on this tumultuous task. And once you have all of those things figured out, we can begin. So, step 1, my friends, is to come all the way to the very front left-hand corner of the grid. If you've not made the grid, it's no big deal. I just hope that you have enough room. From this corner block, I want you to count to the right by 1. And then inwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this is the starting position. And on top of this block, I want you to place 5 block of quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go right by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Extend that 14th block towards you by 2. 1, 2. I then want you to extend that to the right by 2. 1, 2. Then extend it 1 block towards you, and then to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Extend that 10th block in 1, to the right by 2. 1, 2. Go back by 2 as well. 1, 2. And then go right by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, 4. There we are. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. To which you then want to extend that block down to the ground. Take a sideways view of what you have just been building from. You then want to go right of this 14th block, funnily enough, by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And extend that block all the way down to the ground, as is customary. Take a little bit of a view, just like this one. And then go right of this 14th block, you're never gonna guess, by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Extend that block 2 blocks towards you. 1, 2. And then to the right by, you guys are going to go crazy when I say this, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Just like that. To which you then want to extend that block inwards by 2. 1, 2. And you guys, you're not going to believe this. We want to go right by 14. However, here's the deal. You don't have to count this out, as what you can do, extend it to the right. Come to the front of the build, take this block here, extend this backwards, and then connect this corner block down. It's actually a little shortcut that you can use when you're building like symmetrical builds and stuff like this. And the shape that you should end up with is kind of a little bit, if you take a look, it either kind of looks like a watch from the top, or the WWE belt. I mean, I don't know, it could be anything. But that's what we want to have so far. And now I want to add some details to the build, and as a matter of fact, we're going to be starting on the front, and we'll get some of these done. So on the front of the build, coming all the way to the very first block that we ever placed, which is of course this one, you guys wouldn't forget, would you? Would you? Take this block and go right by 2 using block of quartz. 1, 2. Place on top of this 3 grey concrete. 1, 2, 3. Place 2 rows of glass going right of the grey, so 1 row. This next row is going to be a little bit trickier, I promise you. 2 rows. Place grey concrete to the right of the glass, like this, in any way, shape or form that you'd like. And then place 2 rows of quartz block going right of the grey concrete. We then want to repeat that window shape, which is a row of grey concrete going right of the quartz. 2 rows of glass going right of the grey, which is my least favourite thing to place in Minecraft. And then we want to place more grey concrete on the end of the glass. And then we're just going to place, this time, 3 rows of block of quartz. That'll be 1, 2, and 3. And we can actually place quartz block underneath all of these windows as well, in between them, and we can connect everything down. Now, the reason that this is 3 rows is because we're simply connecting the outline of the build down to the ground, like this, right? And of course, now that we have done that on that side, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it on the opposite side. We're going to keep things nice and balanced, as all things should be. And we're going to take the bottom block here on this front right side of the build, and we're going to place 2 block of quartz going left, 1, 2, and then 3 grey concrete on top. That'll be 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 rows of glass left of the grey, 1, and then this will be 2 rows of glass. There we go. I'm getting better at this. And then grey concrete on the end of the glass, which is still easier to place that way. 2 rows of quartz. That'll be 1, then 2 rows of quartz. A row of grey. You guessed it, 2 rows of glass. 1 and... oh, look at... oh, never mind, it's going downhill. The skills are going downhill. There we go. And then another row of grey. And then you can place 3 rows of block of quartz, which will take you to the corner of the frame here. And then if you just underline this with a big ruler, aka quartz block, and fill that in just on the right where we have that little crevice, you will see that we have a nice little set of windows. And now that you have said little nice set of windows, we have to do the inward parts here. So the inward parts are quite simple. Where we have these corners of quartz, like this shape where it initially comes in, we're going to connect this first row of block of quartz down to the ground, this second row of block of quartz down to the ground. We're going to take this row here where we come across down to the ground, like this, right? And that leaves us a window shape, which we're going to turn into a window. We're going to place glass inside of the shape like this, and then we're going to extend this row of block of quartz down to the ground as well. So we end up with this shape, which is quite a pleasing shape. Let's do the same on the opposite side as well. So we'll extend initially this first couple of rows of quartz block will extend outwards. And then we come across, we skip a row and extend this down to the ground. Join it at the bottom. Place glass in the window. And then extend the quartz block forwards by an additional row. And you can see that things are nice and fine and balanced this way. Now, once you have indeed done that, we can add a little bit more detail. So the little bit more detail that we're going to add is, first, we're going to add 2 rows of quartz block coming inwards on either side. This will be 1 row, and then 2 rows, top to bottom like this, like 1 row, and then 2 rows, top to bottom, just like that. We're going to join the base of it together, so left to right, right at the bottom, just like that. And then we're going to, on the left side here, we're going to place glass coming up the left side. Now, this can either be pane or it can be block. It's really up to you, quite honestly. We're then going to place grey concrete in between these, like that. And then you can either place a glass block at the top, or you can perhaps place another grey concrete. I like a little bit of difference using the glass. And now that you've done that, what I want you to do is I kind of want you to frame the entrance a little bit. Not in a legal way, but I want you to place pillar quartz block left and right of the entrance, coming up all the way up as high as the entrance as well. Just left and right of it like that. And it frames things quite nicely. It looks quite good. And if you want to add a further little bit of detail, very small, you could even add a little bit of quartz slab here coming across the top like that, right? Just to add a little bit of something, if you so choose. Now, anyway, now that we have added that, I want you to join the quartz block together in between, in front of the entrance. We're going to extend the quartz block forwards a row. We're going to place stone brick slabs around this little sticky part, like that. And we're going to dig in the ground around this area, kind of like a horseshoe shape, which is hard to say fast, by the way. And we're going to place grey concrete inside of the area that we have dug out, ignoring that block, or a couple of blocks that I accidentally kind of destroyed. Whoops. And what we then want to do is, on top of the very corners of the grey concrete, we are going to stack rows of pillar quartz block, and they're going to be as high as these ones. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are. We're going to join this all together. The way that we're going to do it is by using quartz slab. So we'll join it first to the house, to each other. That's so nice. And then we'll also join it back to the house. There we go. I know that hole is annoying everybody. It's annoying me probably most of all, but we'll leave it there because later on we will be destroying inside there anyway. So now that you have created the entrance, we have actually done a pretty decent amount of work, quite honestly, but our work is not done. We're going to destroy in front of the 2 pillars, and we're going to destroy 7 rows in the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, look at that. We hit the boundary. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We hit the boundary again. That's crazy. We're going to place grey concrete inside of here, and we're just going to make kind of like a fancy-ish sort of looking entrance. So I'm now going to delete all of this grass as it is not needed. You know, you served us well, grass. I appreciate you very, very much, but we don't need you. We're going to have to let you go, and we're going to get some new fancy materials in here. And those fancy materials we're talking about, we're going to place stone brick stairs, again, hard to say fast, all the way around the inside of the area that we have just destroyed. We are then going to drop out the area 1 more row, and we are going to place a little bit of quartz in there. So you can either use slab or you can use quartz block. Doesn't really matter. As long as you have that nice little feeling of depth, then I think that we can all be happy. There we go. That's not too bad, right? So now that you have done that, what we are going to do is, and we're getting a little bit of ahead of ourselves. We take the end grey concrete blocks that we have here, move in 1, and then out 1. Place a block of quartz, and extend that block of quartz all the way outwards, lining it up perfectly with the edge of the house. That will save us a little bit later. And we want to do the same on this opposite side. So we take the edge of this grey path, in 1, block of quartz to the right, extend it all the way to the right side so it is nice and even with the edge of the house. We'll be placing like bushes and stuff later, which will line things up quite nicely. So that looks pretty good, doesn't it? I hope. Anybody else think it I think it looks lovely. So now that you have done that, we are going to add a little bit more work here. So this is kind of difficult to do, but kind of not. We're going to place grey concrete above and inside of the top of the frame. So the WWE belt that we've kind of created for ourselves. We're going to place grey concrete that just sits above and inside of the frame, like this. And if you like, you can initially start off by kind of creating a large rectangular shape, which I'm inadvertently doing right now, which I shouldn't because it's a little bit more complicated than this. But I'm going to place grey concrete all the way through like this. Okay? Which looks alright. And then I want to fill in the gaps, so I'm going to use solid grey concrete here just to fill in these gaps that we have coming towards the front of the house. Like that. It's a bit more elaborate on the front of the house than it is the back of the house. But we also want to have the same sort of thing on the back too. So now we should have this sort of shape with the grey concrete. And in doing that, you will find that it adds a layer of depth to the house, which is exactly what we're after. Now, come all the way to the front left-hand corner of your house. This corner, we're going to place 2 blocks of quartz on top. 1, 2. Delete the first. I'm sorry. We're then going to go right. We want to place block of quartz above where we placed block of quartz down below, except we've just got a little gap. Pretty much. It's the same sort of deal, right? And we're going to extend this 1, 2 rows forward like that as well. And that's what we want to have. And now that we have extended out a bit, this is where the shape differs a tad. We're going to go up on top of this by 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend 1 towards you. And then go to the right by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. By 8. And then we're going to go inwards by 1. And then right by 2. 1, 2. Make that 3. And then we're going to go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've kind of mirrored what we have on the opposite side now, right? So that's the sort of shape that we are looking for. Now, once you have achieved that shape, we can even go as far as extending that 4th block inwards by 1, 2, and then we can extend it to the right like this. Just like that. So we are now indeed mirroring what we have on the opposite side. And we are now going to add a little bit of shape to this. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to take these bottom corner blocks here and join them in by 2. We're going to extend 1, 2 inwards. And then up like this. Opposite side as well, we're going to take these bottom corners, 1, 2, and extend them up like that. We're going to add block of quartz inwards from these 2 windows like this. And then extend that quartz towards us. Just like that. And then we're going to take the bottoms of the quartz and we're going to extend them inwards a row by 2. 1, 2. And then 1, 2. We're going to join them up. Just like this. That's good. I want you to place glass block underneath the top of this. It has to be block. And then we're going to place in all of the other windows glass pane. Specifically glass pane. Again, it's a whole depth sort of thing. And there's a reason for the block as well. And what we are then going to do is we are going to place a layer of grey concrete that is going to sit comfortably, like just inside the top of the porch area. And I'm just going to show you this. So you can fly. We want to have a layer of grey concrete that's just going to sit above and inside the top of the pillar quartz area and the quartz slabs. And we also, of course, want to have it filled in using grey concrete too, just like that. Then we're going to use quartz slab to place a layer of quartz slab all the way around the top of the grey concrete area, just going around like this. That's looking pretty decent. And then we're going to place black stained glass pane around the top of this little balcony area as well. And then we're going to join the balcony up here. For some reason, I've decided to raise it. I don't even know why. And we're going to place block of quartz just in between this little middle bit. And we're going to place some grey concrete on the left and right sides. Extend the grey concrete 1 row towards us. And place quartz slab in front of the top of the glass area. This forces us to place block of quartz underneath these grey concrete parts. And then I have opted to place quartz slab around this as well. I don't know why, but it is the way it is. And you can see it actually looks quite elaborate. It looks really nice. From the sides, I don't know whether this looks a little bit clunky or not. So I don't know whether you might want to like connect this down and use block of quartz, and you could even add an additional block of quartz here and then kind of like piece it in a little bit. That might look a little bit cleaner to you. I don't know. I'm kind of like in my own odds there. I'm not sure whether that looks better than this. I mean, it kind of does look a little bit cleaner, so you might want to kind of like just clean that up a little bit. Just like that. I think it does make it look a little bit fancier. And now that you have done that, what we also want to do is place a row of block of quartz in between the top of this, just in the middle, like that, right? And we're also going to extend these 2 quartz rows backwards so they sit alongside the, so it kind of like fades into the back of the house a little bit, so we've kind of given it sides. And we also want to place grey concrete above and inside this area here. At the top of the build, grey concrete coming from left to right, just like that, above and inside that area. And we're going to place quartz slab around the top of the grey concrete. We're going to extend that grey concrete up an additional row. Just like that. That's wonderful. So, there is a roof here that has to be made. The roof is sort of simplish. Begin by placing a stone brick slab on top of the front left-hand corner of this quartz slab. Extend the stone brick slab to the left by 1 towards you, and then extend it right and go up on top of this most outward right block by 1. And then go right 1, up 1, 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 and then right 1, up 1. Now, I have done that kind of fast, but can you see where that block has to end? Right there. So, once you have matched that block up at the top to where the entrances are, like you can see the middle of this entrance aligns perfectly with this block, we can start bringing it down again. So this block right here, we can extend it like right and down, right down, right down, right down, right down, right down, right down, and then right. Eventually, you will end up in the equivalent position as you were on the opposite side. And what's important is this little triangular area that we have created, we want to be able to place glass to cover up the roof a little bit. So what's the best way to do this? So we want to have from the outside an appearance of glass, and we might even set the glass 1 row backwards, okay? So I'm just going to place a little bit of glass, and we might have to destroy some of it, but I kind of want to prove a point. I've placed way too much glass, actually. So something like that. This might suffice. So from the outside, this is the appearance that we're going to want to have, right? So from the outside, we're going to want to have a look as though glass is there. And we can extend these stone brick slabs a little bit backwards. So extend them backwards so that they would cover up the glass, because it's not 100% certain where it's going to conflict with it, right? So if you extend back these stone brick slabs just a few rows so that it can pass behind the glass, then we should be alright. And it doesn't matter if it hits some of the glass on one half, and if it goes over on certain other points, like it's perfectly fine. As long as the roof perfectly melds to the glass, it should be alright. Like, I think that I've done a pretty decent job here, but extend all of these blocks backwards like this, because it does make a decent amount of difference. I love when you can see like glass melded into roofs and stuff. It's, I don't know, I like how it looks, and I would hope that you guys do as well. So like, we'll extend all of this back, and later on we'll feed this into the 2 large side roofs. So there we go, can extend all that back, and now you should be able to see, yeah, that's perfect. So the effect that we have is we have glass set 1 row backwards, and it looks nice and fancy with the roof. Now, that is a lot to digest. We've done loads there, but that's the hardest part of the house complete. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Next, once you have done this large part of the house, we can start working on the much easier parts, which are the sides. So let's come to the left side of the house. We'll start here, because why not? What I want you to do is extend this quartz block here across the side of the house until it matches the row of block of quartz just below it, like that. We're going to do the roof. The roof is quite simple. So the way that we do it is we extend up the 2 ends of the block of quartz here. Both ends of the block of quartz we extend upwards, and then we do this pattern, and it's very simple. We extend the block of quartz inwards on both sides, and also up on both sides. And in, and then up. And then in, and up, and in. It's getting gradually easier. Up, in, up, in, up, in, and finally up. The shape that you will end up with should look exactly like that. Very easy to make. We place grey concrete on the inside of the empty space that we have created for the inside of the shape. So from the outside we will have a two-tone, depthy, interesting looking shape that looks really quite cool. For some reason, don't know why, doesn't even make sense, reminds me of ice cream. Now that we've done that, we have to do the little part underneath, which is basically just adding windows. Begin by placing an entire row of block of quartz connecting the side of the house together. Add a row of block of quartz on the inside of the left side and the right, just like that. Leave a gap of 4 on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a gap. And then place 3 rows of block of quartz right in the middle of the house, like that. What that will allow you to do is place grey concrete on the inside of both parts of those windows, like this, and then glass in between those windows as well. So black glass specifically because it contrasts so nicely against the white, like that. The house looks a little bit goofy at the moment. Actually, it kind of reminds me of Goombas from Mario, a little bit, funnily enough. Once you've done that, we want to do the same thing on the opposite side. And when I say the same thing, I mean the same thing. We want to begin by extending the block of quartz above the grey concrete across and level and parallel with the block of quartz just below us. We extend the ends up on the left and right side by 1, and then we extend them in and upwards on both sides until we would eventually meet in the middle. It's much faster to do this a decent amount on one side, do it a decent amount on the other side, and then once you get towards the middle-ish part where the middle is going to be, it's much easier just to then build it from both sides like this. Of course, we want to have grey concrete inside of the empty space right in the middle of the build. And this grey concrete, it sits 1 row inside because of depth, it's grey because of contrast, and I don't know what else to say about it. It's a triangle because it's a roof. What we then want to do is create windows underneath this shape, which involves us placing a row of block of quartz at the base of this, a row of block of quartz coming inwards from each side, left and right, top to bottom. We then leave a gap of 4 starting from either side really, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then the 3 middle rows are block of quartz, which we can join top to bottom. We then place grey concrete on the insides of both windows, top to bottom on the left and right sides on both sides. We then place black stained glass pane in the windows like this. And once we have done that, we have actually quite successfully done both sides of the build. We're lacking a roof, but we don't need that right now. Now that we have done that, we are going to focus on the back of the build a little bit. So the back of the build, we're first of all going to take care of the middle part. The middle part begins by us placing a block of quartz coming down from these 2 side positions of quartz blocks. So we want to basically single out the middle part of the block of quartz, and we want to create 2 walls like this. So they're just 2 walls of 3 quartz block like this. Just like that, right? And then we're going to join the bottom of this together, left to right. We're going to add 4 rows of block of quartz coming inwards from both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Join these top to bottom, like this. Perfect. And then we're going to have glass coming inwards from both sides. This might seem familiar. And then grey concrete coming inwards from both sides. A glass block in the middle. And then we have to find a way to come down. So, I mean, there's many ways that you could do this. You could make this look fancy in very, very many different ways. So, for instance, you could place like a row of grey concrete coming outwards from the entrance here. You could place another row of grey concrete in front of it, perhaps. You could place pillar quartz block left and right of this area, just like this. You could extend that equivalent row of grey concrete. We could have 1, 2 rows coming up around the top like this. And then we're going to place pillar quartz block coming outwards. Actually, no, we'll place pillar quartz block here in this position coming outwards. And here, like this. That looks pretty fancy. We're going to place quartz slab around the interior of those pillars, like this. We're also going to place a row of quartz slab around the top of the pillars like this, joining to the wall and everything else, like that. We're going to extend the grey concrete at the top to fill in the little shape of the pillars like this. And then we're going to finish up by placing quartz slab around the top of the grey concrete area. Just like that. That's not a bad back entrance. And then, if you like, you can even place... Actually, we'll place bushes here in these two positions. What we then want to do, we also want to place a block of quartz above and outside of the grey concrete as well. Just like this. Above and outside the grey concrete. Like... Whoops. Like this. I'm so bad at this. Parallel to the quartz block that we have just below us. And then we'll have something which should look just like that, which looks perfectly fine. And then once we have done that, we also have to do these two little sides as well. So we'll start off by placing block of quartz connecting these sides to the middle, right at the bottom. We want to place block of quartz on the inside here, on the left, and we want to place 2 rows of block of quartz coming inwards from the right side, so that'll be 1 and 2. We then want an individual window coming inwards from both sides, which is a row of grey concrete, and then 2 rows of glass, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a row of grey concrete, extend that up, place block of quartz in between them, and then glass in all of the remaining spaces. And that's just an easy way to take care of all of that empty space. We're going to do a similar thing all the way over on this side. So we'll first of all place a row of block of quartz that connects the bottom together. On the left side we place 2 rows of quartz block, and on the right side we just place 1. Like this. We want to have a window coming in from either side, which is of course a row of grey concrete, and then 2 rows of black glass pane, grey concrete coming top to bottom on the ends of the glass pane, and then block of quartz in between the 2 windows, which we're then going to fill in using black stained glass pane, like this, and that will give us this, which looks pretty nice and fancy if I do say so myself. Now we're going to do the roof before we do any sorts of other details and stuff. So the roof is quite simple. It starts as any roof might, which is right on the end of the triangular shapes that we have created. We place stone brick stairs coming up the sides of the triangular shapes that we have on the sides of the house. We place stone brick stairs on the ends. These are the parts that overhang. These stone brick stairs, here we go, also want to have upside down stone brick stairs underneath them to create an interesting shape. And we have a block of stone brick underneath the top of the stone brick slab. And then we of course begin by extending all of these stone bricks across the top of the build like this. And they will end in the same position as they do on the opposite side. This is the back of the roof. The back of the roof is quite easy. The front of the roof is honestly quite simple as well. Not as easy as the back, but hey, you know what? One has to be more difficult than the other. So we have to extend all of these stone bricks, or all of these stone brick stairs as I should say, preferably not upside down, that would kind of ruin the vibe a little bit. All the way across. I'm so bad. Bedrock really messes things up a little bit. No! Don't place upside down. So we want to connect these stone brick stairs left and right together on the back, right? And this is quite a tedious task. There's quite a few rows of stone brick stairs to place, and the reason that this is quite tedious being kind of like boring and repetitive and quite long, is because the house is so wide. It's quite a wide house. There's plenty of room on the inside, which you guys wouldn't have seen yet, unless you've cheated and went straight to the end and then decided that you want to build the build, and then you have came back to this point. That's a possibility, I suppose, which I wouldn't blame you for. But the inside of the build is quite large, hence why the build is quite wide, hence why the roof takes quite long to do. But it's not all so bad. Once we have done the back part of the roof, we have more than 50% completed it. So that's something positive to look forward to. We've not done the top of the roof quite yet, but you know, we've got something that looks pretty decent on the back. Now, as we come up to the top of the roof, of course, we are going to place our stone brick slabs coming across the top like this. But here's the funny thing. On the front of the roof, we have to connect the stone brick slabs into the roof as well. So it's kind of up to you what you find best here. What I'm going to do to start off with is begin by placing all of these stone brick stairs here on these sides, and then I'm kind of going to take it as I go as to what sort of way I want to tackle the roof from the front. Because we're going to have to add some more blocks when it comes to the middle-ish part of the roof. Like, we'll have to extend back some of those block of quartz and the quartz slabs, and we'll of course have to extend back all of these stone brick slabs for that little part of the roof. And it's tricky because we're connecting stone brick slabs to stone brick stairs. The blocks don't particularly go together very well, which is why we'll have to delete some stairs as we build them, and we'll have to turn some blocks into stone bricks. You guys will see. So I'm going to start off by extending these stone brick stairs into the middle of the house, which so far is accounted for. Now it's not. So we've extended it to the middle of the house, and we're going to have to take these top two quartz blocks and extend them backwards. The bottom one by one and the top one by two. This will have to be done on both sides, so we'll extend that backwards and then this one too. The reason being is because otherwise we would have holes in the top of the roof, but now you can see that we can simply extend those across just like that. And I'm going to do that on the opposite side as well, because this is quite an easy part of the roof to do. So I'm going to extend all of these bottom rows. As a matter of fact, this shouldn't be too difficult when it comes down to it. In the end, it should be a fairly easy job for us to do, because we don't have too much to account for. So we've extended all of these back, and now we're going to look to extend this next row. This next row is going to be where it first conflicts, I think, with the middle part. So I'm going to extend this back here, but we also have to extend the quartz slab part back as well. So we have to extend that backwards, and I'm going to extend that one row backwards. I'm going to delete the stair, and I'll do the same on the opposite side. So extend the quartz slab backwards until it overhangs one row. And this will mean that you can extend the quartz, or the stone brick stair rather, backwards like this. And you can join it to that slab, just like that. What we will then have to do is extend the grey concrete backwards as well, just like this, and extend it in and around so that we don't have any gaps from the outside, as you will be able to see. So from the outside, we don't have any gaps now, and if we do, we will plug them from the inside, just like that. So now I'm going to start extending some of these stone brick slabs backwards, because this next row is where things will start connecting as well. So I'm going to extend these stone bricks across, and I'm actually going to leave that as it is. So this is where these stone brick slabs start connecting to these stone brick stairs. Half of them will just straight up connect to the bottom of the stairs. The other half won't. So like if you place that, and then stone brick slabs, it'll just join nicely to the bottom of the stairs. And then we'll extend that one backwards as well. We'll have to turn this into a slab block, and we'll have to do the same thing on this opposite side. Like if you extend it back, you'll see it just kind of creates a weird shape, so we'll just turn that into a slab block. And now I'm going to extend the next part. We've only got 2 more sets of stairs, which is fine. So we're going to extend, I'll tell you what, we'll extend all of the stairs across, and then we'll just deal with the conflicts in materials afterwards. And don't worry so much about how the inside of the roof will look, because, well, when you'll see later on, you can easily manipulate the inside of the build to hide all of the imperfections that you may see in the roof. We're also going to now extend back these slabs, right? So, whoops, I accidentally turned that into a brick block. Extend that backwards, that joins perfectly. You'll find that every other block will do this. Joins perfectly. As I say, every single other block, it's only particular blocks that you'll have a problem with. Also, by the way, the roof, you'll notice the very top, you just have to join it down like this. That's all you have to do. You just join it down to the top of the roof. You don't try and do anything fancy. Like, it doesn't extend back and connect anywhere else. The roof is a slightly odd shape, so we're going to extend all these back. And now these every other row blocks, if you extend them back, you will find that they hit the stairs, which we can then just destroy and place a slab in their place. And it will look perfectly fine that way. So, destroy, place a slab, this just extends backwards and it will connect in the same position as the very top of the roof does as well. And we can come down the other side now, and we can just destroy every other stone brick stairs like this. So we can just destroy that, just like that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the roof. That was quite complicated when it came to the middle part, but otherwise, I mean, it's a really good looking contrast. Like, I really like these stone bricks against the white and the grey of the other materials. I think it looks really, really good. And now that we've done that, we've actually completed the house part of this itself. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, honestly, like, that's a really massive part of the build complete. We don't have a huge amount more to do, but I can show you how you can, like, spruce up the garden and stuff. So I'm going to begin by I'm just going to dump the quartz materials for a second, and I'm going to grab all of the grass and the doors and stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get rid of the glass, and I'm going to grab the quartz stairs, because we might need these, as I know we need them. So I'm going to place a row of green concrete that sticks out one row in front of the quartz wall that we have at the front, and it's going to come all the way around the back of the build. I am going to lay a layer of green concrete along the back and outside of the grid that we created at the start of the build. Feel free to extend your garden out as far as you like, but mine is going to be set on top of the parameters that I set for myself right at the start of the video. So, next thing that we're going to be doing here is we want to make a couple of areas on the front of the garden. What I mean by that is I want to take the front corner of the house here, this corner of the house, and I want to dig in the ground. I want to dig specifically this many blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to place grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to dig all the way to the left, and I'm going to connect to the hedge and place grey concrete inside. I want to place green concrete underneath the window area on the left side of the house, extending one row left and right of it. I'm also going to place a little bit of green concrete around the corner of the house like this, just to kind of create a bit of a shape. In the middle of this area that I have created, I want to dig out this shape. So as you can see, I kind of want to dig and leave a row of grass all the way around the inside of this rectangular shape that we've created. I'm going to place quartz stairs around the inside of this, and then you can either destroy the grass that we have inside, or you can place flowers on top. Now, it's completely up to you whether you want to destroy it down and then place it in or not. I'll show you both versions. So, now that we've done that to one side, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So we start off by taking this corner block here, and we dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks coming forwards. We place grey concrete inside and then connect it all the way to the right. And of course we place grey concrete inside of that empty space. we're going to use green concrete underneath these windows, extending left and right outwards. And we're going to place a flower bed area which leaves a border of grass going all the way around the outside like this. It just leaves a border of grass going around where the flower bed's going to be. And this is where I'm going to show you the difference. So the reason that I dig out or choose to dig out this part and put flowers like inside of the little quartz area is because it creates a little bit of a level of depth. Now, you may or may not like that better, it's completely up to you. So that's like how both sides would look. Additionally, what I'll also do, but I'll probably leave this until the end of the video, I'd like to do all of it, is I'm digging out all of the grass around the build, mostly. Like in the front garden, I'm digging the grass around the flower bed area. So everything inside of the grey concrete area that we have there, I'm leaving all that grass. And then outside, I'm going to use lime terracotta, and I'm going to make fake grass. This gives us quite a few different contrasts of green. We have lime terracotta, we have green concrete, and we have the natural green grass of actual Minecraft. We have green grass, and we also have a little bit from the poppy, which is all different, and it creates a stark contrast between all of them. So that's something that we are going to have to do, but I'll probably do that off of recording. Not only that, this is an unfortunate side of creating a grid around your house. I'm going to delete this white concrete that I have in front of this wall, in between the hedge and the entrance, and I'm going to place poppies in the grass instead. So just to create a little bit of colour out in front of the build, that's what you can choose to do. I'm going to place 2 doors also. One door right where the entrance is down below, and another door just set 1 row inwards where we have the balcony entrance. I choose dark oak wood because it's all about contrast. It contrasts nicely. It seems to kind of go, right? I don't know, with all of the other doors. So, now that we've done all of those things to the front, or most of them, I've kind of given you guys a couple of ideas what you might do to the front of the house. What can you do to the back of the house? Well, the back of the house is very, very simple. I mean, first of all, I would recommend adding some green concrete underneath the 2 windows. I'd add a little bit of green concrete here coming out of the back porch in between the 2 pillars of pillar quartz block, like this. Just in between, kind of connects them together a little bit. On the back of the house, you can add lime terracotta instead of the grass, and you can also, additionally, if you so choose, add a couple of pools. So the pools, I would line them up with the windows, and I'd leave a gap of 2 from every side. So like you can see, the side is 2 rows away from the window. If you stay 2 rows away from the window on the front and 2 rows away from the window from the hedge on the back, then you can create kind of like some nice shapes. And you can use your quartz stairs to do this as well if you want, all the way around. And you could either just create, like, again, you could create more flower beds, or you could create a pool. You could do as you like. But these are just some ideas that I'm going to be throwing at you. Like, I would prefer that you guys kind of like figure out yourself what you want to do to the outside of the house, especially when it comes to the back. But I'm keeping mine simple. The house is very symmetrical, very symmetrical. So that's why I'd like things to be done the same way on both sides, and the back is no exception, and we're going to keep it nice and simple. I'm probably going to add 2 pools of water to both sides, and I'll of course have to dig out the inside and place water in there. And I might even create kind of like a little, what shall I say? A little quad area, perhaps around here. So like what do I mean by that? Maybe like a little bit of a path, sort of like around these hedges here, and I just want to kind of create like a little bit of an area where you might kind of like just hang out and sit around and stuff, and keep it all nice and even keel. So I might like destroy the center of this and place either some grey concrete, or I might use the stone slabs that I have here as well, and just create a bit of an area here at the back. So kind of like a little space where it's kind of like a patio. You could place some tables and chairs and stuff, or something like that, and that actually looks alright. That doesn't look too bad. So these, as I say, I mean, the idea would be to dig out all of the grass here and place a bit of water inside here instead, like this. But that's up to you, like, or you could have some more flower beds. I'm also going to destroy all of the grass and I'm going to place some lime terracotta in there as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have just outlined what needs doing around the house. I need to do the back garden, and I, of course, have to just finish up the front garden as well. I'm going to do all of those things, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like. And I want you guys to see what that would all look like if you chose to do what I'm kind of giving you an idea to do with the garden. Back in a moment. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I have dug out all of the grass on the front of the build, and I have replaced it with lime terracotta. Outside of the grey boundaries, of course. I decided that I kind of like the flower beds on the front of the house. I like the grass raised and then the poppies on top. Like, I just, for some reason, I think that that looks a lot better. And when it comes to the back of the house, all I've done is I have added those two pools on either side, and I have dug out all the grass and I've placed some lime terracotta in there instead. I'm sure that you guys can come up with some way better ways of making that look a lot fancier than I have. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the house complete, and I hope that you will eventually end up with something that looks exactly like that. And now that we have completed building the house, I can show you the inside, as I did promise right at the beginning of this tutorial that I would show you what the inside of the house looks like once it is all finished. So coming to the inside, you have two choices of entry, but kind of only one. You have the front door, or you have the raised balcony door if you're good at parkour. And when it comes to the inside, we crack open this door, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying that this is a good interior or anything like that. I wouldn't recommend it. I just want to show you guys how you might lay out the house, or perhaps, like, you know, how big the rooms and stuff are. This isn't like an incredibly cool interior or anything. But I have laid out the inside so that we have a large entrance room. We kind of have a hallway. We have a lead that goes all the way to the back door. We have a way that we can go to the right side of the house. We have split into the left side of the house as well. We can even take the stairs. And before we go anywhere, I do kind of just want to show you that I have opted to, underneath the stairs, I have a little hidden room as well. Just hidden underneath the stairs, which I think is pretty cool. But we'll start off with the left side of the house, and the left side of the house we have a bit of a fancy fish tank. We have a little storage slash smelting area. We kind of have a little relaxing area here just to the right so we can watch our fish tank. If we move through the house into the end, we have a bit of another relaxing area. We can watch TV and stuff. We kind of have a couple of different themed rooms. This could easily be absolutely anything else that you wanted to make it. If we come over to the opposite side of the house, all the way over to the right side, and again, you know, plenty of chests and stuff around the place as well. We have a little bit of a library area, and we have a bit of a seating area as well, where we can kind of like sit and enchant and do all sorts of fun stuff like that. If we move towards the back of the house through this doorway here, we have kind of like a brewing area towards the back, which is pretty cool. I think I kind of like this room a lot. It feels nice and secret as we walk through the house. Now, as we come up to the second story of the house, as we make our way into the main hall, we climb up these stairs here, and we are put into another hallway. So in this hallway we have three options. We can go out onto the balcony, we can go into the bedroom-ish area, or we can come into the bathroom-y sort of area. The house is a weird mix. It's a weird mix of like survival and kind of just like a regular house. It's kind of strange actually, which is kind of why I like it, but kind of meh. So inside here, you know, we kind of have just some survival related stuff that we have surrounding us, plenty of storage. We have a little bathtub here, which is kind of fun. This room is kind of like a little bit, really just kind of weird, but I kind of do like this room as well. Nice, big and open and bright. As we come across and out from this room, across this hallway, we are led into kind of like a bit of a crafting room, you know, furnaces and chests everywhere, kind of a couple of different color schemes laid out, a little bit of an anvil hidden away here. There's not many of those in the house actually, which leads us all the way to a bedroom here, and the bedroom has kind of like everything slammed all the way into one. You know, you can kind of do anything in the bedroom, which is really, really kind of cool. You know, the house has many rooms, and it can be split in so many different ways that I would highly recommend that you guys really do your own thing. But this is the balcony exit / entrance, and that's kind of like the entire house, guys. You can see I had quite a lot of fun with the interior. It's kind of like a little bit bonkers. It's a little bit mental. I hope that you guys can figure it out a little bit better than I did, but I thought that it was kind of like fun to look at as well. If you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button. It really helps me in the channel out very much. If you do make it all the way to the end of the video, consider subscribing and click the little bell next to the subscription button. I'll ensure that you got my stuff sent directly to your sub box. If you want to make any more suburban houses or modern houses or any more builds by me, check out the card system in the description below, and I might even leave some at the top of the comments as well. Very easy to find all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to jump all the way up from the top of the roof here. Goodbye.